Did any part of you think or hope that this might change how you're perceived?
The thing that's different is the two words, Anurag Kashyap. Well, we've been noting this for the last 3 years. It is frustrating. And it was delayed because, let's say, because of me or because of Anurag sir. I just hope people enjoy the film, don't take it so seriously.
Sunny, it is wonderful to have you on The Hot Take.
Thank you.
And I'm so glad we could be doing this at your truly lovely office.
Thank you so much. We're really proud of it. I think Daniel's more proud of this office. He worked really hard for it.
I was just saying that there's a lot of calm and peace here.
That's good. That's like invites good energy, hopefully.
But the film I want to pick your brain on today is the opposite of calm and peaceful, which is, of course, Kennedy, which is finally seeing the light of day after 3 years, if I'm not wrong. Is this one of the first times, is it fair to say that it's one of the first times that a filmmaker really tapped into the actor in you versus sort of the glamorous image you're associated with?
Well, Charlie is very glamorous.
Of course.
Charlie does have a shady background.
Of course, but there's more to her.
But the thing that's different is the two words, Anurag Kashyap. And the genre and the style of which, the film is shot and, all of the craziness that happens. So I think that part is pretty much the same. It's just the circumstances of the film is very, very different. And I was so excited when he called and he said, "Do you want to come in for an audition?" I'm like, "Yes, I do. Oh my God, I'm so excited." And then when I hung up the phone, I was like, "Oh my God, I'm so scared. What am I going to do? Is he going to like me? Is he not going to like me? What do I need to do? Where are the lines? I need them right now." And totally panicking. And, I was in disbelief and also in such awe and felt so honored.
Is it true that he auditioned you in a room full of his assistants?
Like imagine every single one of my employees all sitting in a room smaller than this.
Okay.
All staring at you. So it's the producers, it's Raul is also there, Anurag sir is there, the entire costume team, the production team, they're all sitting there. I'm like, oh my God, I'm so nervous. And come to find out it was just a big fat joke. And they were just looking to see if I would show up.
Oh, wow.
I know. It was such a crazy test.
When you first got offered the film, did any part of you, or maybe after you first saw it on the festival circuit, did any part of you think or hope that this might change how you're perceived in terms of the kinds of roles you get offered?
That perception in my head changed the second I got that phone call.
Okay.
And the moment that he said, "We really want you to play Charlie in Kennedy." And I was like, wow, people are going to, see a different type of film.
Yeah.
And so many people come up to me all the time, go, "This is a movie, it's going to change everything. It's a game changer. This song or this film or this show or blah, blah, blah." But there's so many other pieces to this puzzle other than shooting the film or shooting the song or shooting a show or whatever it is that you're doing. So it becomes difficult when all the pieces don't fit together.
And so much out of your control.
Right. And this film, though, because it was an official selection for the Cannes Film Festival, it just catapulted it into its own category.
So then what does it do when you find out that the film that you are putting a lot of hopes on, that there is this big delay? There are these many years of uncertainty. I imagine that was a very frustrating time.
It is frustrating, but, I have some nice people around me that, my husband's one of them who keeps saying every film has its home, it'll be okay. And it was delayed because, let's say, because of me or because of Anurag sir or because of, any big major reason as far as with the actors or with it just, I don't know, it just ended up being this way. But there was one reporter who put it so nicely. She's like, "You all have been nurturing this entire whole situation where, actors, they come, they shoot, they do the promo, the film was released, and then you're done. Well, we've been nurturing this for the last 3 years."
Yeah.
So I thought that was a really good perspective of, this entire thing. There's always a positive in everything.
It does feel like a cinephile event. This film that so many people have been wanting to watch for years, finally, they get to see it.
Yeah.
So we hope the film finds its audience at the right time, I guess.
everything happens for a reason, and we have to believe that this is a moment that Candid was supposed to come out.
A lot of actors talk about how working with Anurag tends to be like a baptism by fire. You really trust your instincts. It can be a very transformative experience for an actor. Would you agree with that? Was that the case with you in terms of just how he works and finding that character with him?
I think what he does is he makes you feel so comfortable, and he tells you different stories, or he tells you, the character background, or he gives you certain amounts of research. And it's not in a teacher, you need to do this. It's in a very nurturing way. And he has this aura and obviously his background and who he is that you want to make him proud. You want to make him feel good, like he made a good choice. And he's worked with so many amazing actors that, in the back of my mind, I'm like everybody else out there probably saying, why me? But I'm happy that whatever he saw in me, that he asked me to be a part of it. I'm still so happy. I can't wait for people to watch this.
Yeah, like I said, I'm grateful that I got to watch it at Mami at the premiere, but I'm glad it's finally seeing the light of day on a platform. Did the film at all change your, in quotes, process or sort of how you typically find characters in other work? Because as I said, a lot of people talk about how his process is very distinctive and unique. So did that change anything for you for any of the work you've done after?
I think what it came down to, like I said earlier, is that he helped nurture this entire process, which I'm going to assume it's in most people anyways, that they want as much information. They want to be able to do all the research or background and, do the workshops and dialogue coaching and so many different things. But we don't always get it, or people are, I don't know about in Hollywood, but here, sometimes you meet people that are in a hurry. And they just need you to show up, and they need you to show up 2 days from now and learn all the dialogue and start shooting and no prep, and everything is just haywire. Where with him, everything is extremely planned out. And it makes you feel good, and it makes you believe that, there are people out there that really do care about cinema. And that's what the product ends up being, and my experiences are very, very different. And this was one of the most amazing sets that I've been on.
I wanted to just ask about your business empire. I'm calling it that. I feel like a lot of people don't know how many things you do. Well, I was reading up on it, and there's a restaurant, there's a clothes line, there's perfume. You're also an avid investor in various businesses. So at this point, is acting, does it feel like a bit of a side hustle at this point when you do so much? Like, what is that average week?
I don't think acting you can call like a side hustle. Everything else might be a side hustle. I think as entertainers, and especially as, women, and as we get older, there's this thing that goes on in our head that says, okay, what are we going to do after? What are we going to do in 5 years? What are we going to do in 10? What's the plan? I'm sure men think like this as well, but, for me, it's important that if this all ends and people say, no, we don't want to see you on television. We don't want to see you in films. We don't want to see you in entertainment anymore. And I had to pack up my things and leave tomorrow. What do I have to show for it? Yeah. So I think that for me as a person is extremely important.
So what does the average week look like, when you are balancing so many things at once?
Well, this morning I was at sports day for the children. And
that's the other role you play as a mother?
That was for 4 hours in the sun. I'm exhausted. Then come home, have lunch with them, get ready, come here. And then tomorrow is a full day of press, I believe. Yeah. And, every single day is so different. Every day is like this where, we're doing something different. Like I have to shoot a bunch of things for Starstruck today. And it's like, getting to do something different every single day.
Yeah. You mentioned that, a lot of sort of female actors tend to sort of become entrepreneurs and they're very successful at it. I wanted to ask, do you think it's because, or they become producers, do you think it's because so many feel underutilized or sort of underestimated in the acting work, the kind of roles that come their way? So this is a way to sort of take charge of your own narrative and sort of show the world what you have to offer when the system around you has its limitations.
I want to assume that most people don't put so much thought into it.
Okay.
I think it's more just you have a family, you have children, you have a husband, you have a home, you have bills, you have things to do, and you have a life that you want to maintain or have financial freedom, whatever it is that you want to do, that costs money. and you have to figure out what you're going to do. And let's say, I don't know, say monsoons. A lot of people stop working during monsoons.
Yeah.
You know, so what are you going to do for those 2 months or 3 months?
You're not reliant on those rhythms of people's
Right.
industry.
So if no one's shooting or things are not happening during monsoons, because that's usually the pattern that we see, then what? You know, you can't rely on the other 9 months or, 10 months and lose everything in 2, you know? So I don't know. I think it's about, I don't think people put so much thought into it of being not used properly or underused or any of that. I think it's just about, just like you have a job, I have a job.
Yeah.
And we have to keep moving forward.
I'm curious to know what that journey was like. You've said you've always been a hustler, of just sort of being the entrepreneur. And what advice would you have for an actor who wants to step into that, of sort of what goes into building your brand and capitalizing on it and sort of starting these ventures?
The biggest advice I think I could give to someone is a business is not an Instagram reel that goes viral.
Okay.
It's not.
Yeah.
If it does, let's call that an exception to the rule.
Okay.
So usually everybody else has to work very hard to grow their business, and that's usually how it functions. And then there's an exception to the rule. Maybe something just hits. Maybe you get funding right away and your business just grows, out of the roof, which is amazing. But that's not usually the case. And I think that a lot of people out there see, these interviews, or they'll see certain Instagram reels, or they'll see like someone talking. Most of it's fake.
Yeah.
And second, you have to work hard to get what you want in life. You have to be consistent. You have to keep investing. You might not make it. Like, I haven't taken a salary in I don't know how long. I don't take a salary. My husband doesn't take a salary. All the money that, that gets made gets reinvested into our companies, or reinvested into, other things. So I'm not sitting here and, going, where's my paycheck?
Yeah.
And you have to also see that as well. So you have to keep working. You have to work hard.
Do you think it's easier to build a brand in sort of 2026 than it was when you first started? Because I'm curious to know, does the social media of it all make it easier or harder because everyone's doing it?
I think it depends on the product.
Okay.
Because is there an oversaturation of that product? Do we see so many of that same thing? And what are you going to do that's going to, set you apart from somebody else? Yeah. So I think that's something also to see. If you're looking to just grow slowly, steady, you're not exactly counting on that amount of money to pay your bills, then you move nice and steady, or you find funding. Yeah. So Daniel and I started out on our own, without investors. It was our own money that I worked for, money Daniel worked for, and we invested it into everything that we built. Yeah. And we're really proud of that.
Speaking of everything that you are, your website, correct me if I'm wrong, describes you as actor, entrepreneur, entertainer, and DJ.
Yeah, that's new.
The fourth one was a twist I didn't see coming.
Yeah, I know. It's so much fun.
How long have you been doing this? Are you doing gigs?
It's been like two or 3 years now.
Okay.
And this year we're going to Ireland. We're going to, I think it's Germany, going to a few other places, these huge festivals. I just played for 12,000 people in Hyderabad for New Year's. Yeah, it was amazing. And
it's just you up there? Is that?
Yeah, I just go. We just have fun, and we play music and we dance, and it's great. It's so much fun. I didn't think it was going to be fun when this whole idea was proposed, and I go, all right, well, let me learn, and let me go research a little bit, and let me learn how all this works. And I love music anyways, so I have certain songs or beats or certain things that I would like to see in some of these mixes, and then, just work with the right people, and we make it happen.
It looks really fun.
It's so much fun.
I don't know where you find the time for all these things, but it looks really fun anyway.
Yeah, it's fun.
Speaking of sort of being a brand and doing so many things, there is no way somebody hasn't pitched you the idea of starting a podcast. I feel like everyone just...
Yeah, we've discussed that in-house as well. I just don't know what I talk about. The only show that I would ever do and I would love to partner with somebody out there, is to do a real prank show.
Okay.
Where it was like punked.
Okay.
Like me and 3-4 people watching on a screen, making funny things happen, and, being behind it, whether it's with civilians or whether it's with celebrities.
There's no way that doesn't get watched a lot, by the way.
Dude, I would have the time of my life, but I would need a proper team for that.
Yeah.
That costs money.
Of course. That's a full production. Yeah.
So yeah.
Because I'm sure there's no way that's not been pitched to you at some point. Everyone's supposed to have a podcast in 2026 for whatever reason.
Yeah, I know. But I'd want, a proper company to back it up, I think.
Just speaking of your journey, I wanted to ask you about a specific project that you were part of, which was your Z5 show, The Untold Story of Sunny Leone, where you played a fictional version of yourself, and it was a story of your life. Mm-hmm. I imagine that is one of the most distinctive, singular experiences you can be a part of, where you're playing you, sort of telling your story, but it's also fiction.
It's very difficult.
So what was that like? Did it feel like writing an autobiography? What was that? Because that feels like a very distinctive experience.
So the whole process starts with interviews.
Okay.
Then the writer then organizes those interviews and organizes them on a timeline, and then comes back and asks more questions, and we do more interviews. And, one of the things that I was set on was showing the real story. Yeah. And, I had to fight for that, which was not fun. But for
versus
me,
what, like the dramatic version of it?
Yeah, or like things that were changed. I go, but this didn't happen.
Okay. The masala.
And especially if it was my parents, then I was extremely protective. If it was my brother, it was extremely protective. The rest of it, I mean, some things here and there, all right, I get it. But, if it was anything with my mother, my father, or my brother, I was like, no, this is not happening. And I need to keep this as authentic as possible. And that's what happened. So most of those, I think everything where you see myself and, my mother, my father was all pretty much authentic. Some little small things are,
Was it strange to like relive so much of your journey?
I cried a lot.
I can imagine. Yeah.
I cried a lot because it was very difficult.
Weird.
So it was like a crybaby.
But were you proud of sort of the end result of having it out there?
I think I wanted people to see the real story.
Okay.
Instead of the story that they make up in their mind.
Yeah.
And I wanted that story to be just, and I wanted it to be true.
Yeah. It's a very interesting take, because most people would write a book, etc., which I know you have done. But yeah, it's so interesting to then sort of make a fictional show, which is based on you where you're playing yourself. It's very not many people can claim to have done that. So
yeah, it was pretty cool. Like, we shot in Cape Town, which looks closest to what Los Angeles looks like. Yeah. In the Hollywood Hills, and the ocean and the cliffs, and just how beautiful it is. It's very similar to Los Angeles.
You mentioned motherhood, and I did want to get your perspective on something. Through last year, there was a lot of what I consider to be very juvenile conversation, with that whole sort of controversy around the Barcon about hours on set and somebody sort of asking what I consider to be a very human thing, and all the ridiculous conversation around that. So, is that difficult when sort of you are trying to do that? Are there sort of these rigidities on set in terms of rules? Is that something that you have to face as a mother working on these projects? Or do people sort of listen and let you?
What do you mean? Like I go on set and I say, no, I'm not going to be there.
Oh, I can commit so much time because
I can only commit let's say 8 hours because I need to go home. I go, it depends on your director and your producer, I think.
Yeah.
For me, I give so much time to my kids, and so does my husband. And we are there for almost every single pickup and drop off, sports day, you name it, their games, their special moments. Of course, if there is a special moment, there is nothing going to be planned that day for them, because, there's making money and then there's moments in time. Yeah. And this time I cannot replace. And if I miss that, I'll feel very, very guilty. But that's my perspective for our children. And I know Daniel has even more dad guilt. Then I have mom guilt. So he gets upset if he's 5 minutes late to go pick the kids up at school. I'm like, it's okay. They're going to be fine. Don't worry. They know you're coming. But I think that it just depends. Like I shot for Splitsvilla this year.
Yeah.
I know during Splitsvilla, I pretty much understand my timing of Splitsvilla. So there is moments or 1 week or 2 weeks that the kids will come to Splitsvilla. Every single year they've been coming. And
that's a weird set for them to be on. Is that?
It's not weird.
Okay. You can see the perception.
Yeah, of course. What you see on TV is not what my kids are seeing.
Okay.
So, they come on set and all the Splitsvillers are like, hi guys, how are you? It's very sweet. It's very, very sweet. Or at the end of a challenge, they're like, can we jump on that boat too? I'm like, yeah, let's jump on the boat together. And when they're watching, let's say, a big challenge, they don't necessarily hear the audio because they're sitting like all the way over there in that corner. But they're watching. And this year it was so funny because they went up to, the heads of the show and they're like, I saw this girl was cheating. This girl was doing this. This boy was doing that. They cheated. They did this, blah, blah, blah. Gave a full write-up of what was happening, what they understood of the rules. And
they're giving notes and feedback.
Yeah, they're giving notes. Or like they'll go see what's happening in the monitor room. I think it's good exposure. Yeah. So they're not hearing like
this kind of stuff.
They're not like hearing like F words. And if there's like some big crazy fight, I have my entire team there. They will just shuffle them to the side. They don't need to see all that violence. And most of the violence usually happen at night anyways, or within themselves. So, it's about watching those challenges where they're running up, different planks and catching this and doing that and, trying to complete the challenge. So
I hope they get credited as creative consultants.
I know. This year they're getting older. So this year I was like, go help the production team over there. So they put in roses. I mean, this is their exposure.
Yeah.
So it's not what you see on the show.
Yeah.
It's them helping to put roses in the background, and they're there on set having fun and I don't know, eating junk food. They're so excited.
Yeah. If any of them become filmmakers or actors, I hope they credit Splitsvilla as the ultimate film school. Where they.
Yeah, I think if I get the chance to do it again next year, I'll hopefully it'll be during their break times, like their summertime, and I'll just put them to work. Let's see.
Speaking of Splitsvilla, correct me if I'm wrong. Last year was your 10-year anniversary of hosting.
This is my 10th.
Oh, this is your 10-year anniversary.
Yeah. Usually the tenure is like amazing. Yeah. Any film you've ever seen or TV show, they're like, it's my tenure, and they usually get something amazing, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I was happy I got to do the show.
You got a selfie.
You're like, where's my plaque? Where's my tenure?
Sort of the level of cultural impact it once did, because we live in the era of so much, we're all watching so much at once. But what's that entire journey been like for you?
Like my entire journey
with Splitsvilla, of hosting that for
amazing.
10 years.
It's amazing. Yeah. I love it. From the very first year that I was there, I fell in love and my entire team fell in love. And there's so many crazy things happening. You're so irritated or so mad and then you're so excited. And you're going through this entire journey with everyone there. And by the time you're done, you're like, oh, I can't wait for next year. I hope we get the phone call next year. I hope we can come back.
Why would you not? I mean, it's been...
I don't know. I don't want to be presumptuous.
Yeah. But you're a firm fixture now in that way.
I know, but life changes, people change, things happen. I have no idea.
I hope you do more for the sake of your kids than you, but I really hope you do.
I know. It's like they're getting older, so they're not, my boys came, they were 3 months old.
Yeah.
And Nisha was, she was 2, and I have pictures of Nisha like petting this beautiful cat up in the middle of nowhere in Jim Corbett. The boys in the pool, or the kids on set and, them taking a picture with the Splitsvilla sign. So their version of what Splitsvilla is very different.
I also wanted to get your take, or I was looking at your upcoming projects, and I wanted to get your take on sort of where you feel the entertainment landscape is going. The reason I ask is I read that you were doing a microdrama project, if I'm not wrong. You also announced an AI film, which looks like in the superhero space centered around you. So Have you shot for, I mean, have these things been completed? Have they just
One
been
of them is complete. The AIs we're working on.
Okay.
We're going to get that story really good.
So what was it like, the whole microdrama thing? Because it's this big buzzword right now. Everyone's talking about it. Do you think it's here to stay? Do you think it's the future, as people say? What was that like?
I don't know. Like, I watched a video the other day about how, these shorter reels or shorter clips of watching these things, it releases certain levels of dopamine in your brain and blah, blah, blah.
Makes us dumber.
Yes. Well, and also we're always looking to get that hit back, right? So these things are geared toward, that mindset because we're always on our phone. We're reconditioning our minds, our bodies, everything chemically in our bodies right now. So, I mean, I think it's great as long as people know to also take a break.
Breathe.
Yeah.
Was there anything different for you to act in a vertical format when the frame is different, or didn't?
Just to make sure that the camera was straight.
Okay.
Vikram sir was always yelling, "Hello, the camera is data," and they would have to adjust it again because we're not used to shooting that direction.
This is Vikram Bhatt, right?
Yes. Yeah. So and everything, your space changes, but it was just like how I had shot with him before. So it was nice.
And what excited you about AI? And what can you tell us? Because it looks very superhero-esque.
So Daniel and I created this not AI, but the superhero character about, 10 years ago. And we had invested a lot into making a trailer for this character. And we used different effects and different companies to create it. And it looked amazing. But at that time, when we made it, it was way ahead of what was happening here.
Budget-wise and...
Not just budget-wise, but what interest.
Okay.
Like people's interest. But it's my interest. I love superhero films.
And was this animated, live action, or like...
I'll show it to you.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah.
So you'll understand. So, and Daniel sang on this. He created the music for it. And I was in it. The entire background, everything was created through visual effects. And it was all shot on green screen. It was really cool. And so Daniel was meeting, one of these AI companies that said they want to make a film with my likeness. And then he showed that trailer, and that's where it started.
And it's sort of going to start soon, the whole production process?
So we're in the middle of finalizing the story.
Okay.
Because again, just like my life story, this baby is really close to me too. Yeah. The superhero is very close to me. And I just want to make sure that formula is correct, that the character is correct, that we also adapt to what's happening here and also adapt to what's happening everywhere else in the world.
Okay.
As far as the technology goes, the story, the certain different elements that I would like to see.
But just so I understand, because AI seems to be a spectrum, you are acting in it, or is it?
So it is going to be my voice.
Okay.
One of the things where I found really fascinating, which is why I liked this one company, is that let's say this room, where's the sun coming from? Where's the office light coming from? Where's the overhead light coming from? We still need light technicians. We still need a writer. We still need a director. We still need all these different human elements to it, which will then make it really exciting. So I'm hoping that it turns out really cool.
And this is aimed to be a feature film for the big screen, is that right?
Yes.
Interesting. Sounds very cool.
It is really cool.
I was also reading that you were learning Malayalam for a film, and I don't think people realize how much sort of non-Hindi work you've done in Tamil and Telugu cinema. But is this a Malayalam film that you've done, or is it?
I've done a few different projects in different languages.
Okay.
So there's one, again, that film also hasn't found its home, but I think it's like pretty awesome.
Okay. Is this Shiro?
Yeah, that one.
And this is the one where you look like to be in a very badass action sort of...
Yeah, it's a very, it's shot during COVID.
Oh, wow, okay.
So it's in one location, and there's some outdoor driving stuff that happens, and a climax that happens in a different location, but most everything happens in one house and all these creepy things.
Okay.
So it was amazing. And I learned all my dialogue myself.
Okay.
Because because this character, I was one of the central characters, I felt like if I don't learn it, I'm going to look like an idiot. So I should definitely actually learn what I need to say. And then they had also called in a really amazing dialogue coach who then, after hearing me say the dialogue, she then switched a little word here, moved this word over here based on how it was coming out of my mouth. And that helped out a lot. It helped out tremendously. And I was able to do like long dialogue pieces, short dialogue pieces, and be able to shoot that film. I was really happy and proud about it.
We hope that film finds a home.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
Fingers crossed, I guess. You also announced a co-production with Vikramaditya Motwane for an international series. What can you tell us about that?
Not much.
Okay.
Not much, but it's going to be amazing.
Okay.
It is based on, some true events.
Okay.
But again, it's a fictional story.
Okay.
It's not real. And it's going to be amazing. I'm very, very excited about it.
Does it have a platform? And what stage are you guys at with it?
We're still in pre-production.
Okay. Very exciting.
Yes.
Are there any big projects you have up in the air that I don't know about that you'd like to tell us about?
I think these are pretty cool.
They're very cool. Thanks.
Daniel's a better person to answer this.
Yeah.
I always forget. But
Happy
yeah.
problem to have. This is a happy problem to have. You have more cool stuff in the air than you.
Yeah. So I guess that's it.
But it seems like a very cool place to be, where you're sort of juggling mediums and formats and sort of reality shows and AI and all that kind of stuff.
So Daniel's really good about that, like being very active on the digital side or technology sides of the industry. So it's exciting.
I just want to close with coming back to Kennedy for a second. Now that the film is finally out, and we're also grateful that film gets the audience, what do you hope this film does for you, considering, you go back to the person you were when you said yes to it, that feeling of being excited about it? What do you hope it does?
First of all, I hope that it surpasses numbers so that I feel good that we did good, because at the end of the day, those are the things that really matter to different, platforms and companies is, are you bankable?
Yeah.
So that I'm hoping will happen. And also, I just hope people enjoy the film, don't take it so seriously, and enjoy my character, because I did work really hard on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As I said, we're very glad that it's finally out, and thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Sunny Leone, and you can watch me on Hot Take on The Hook.